Yes, let's go. Oh, are we counting down?
I'm playing the intro.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Yeah, it's okay. They can't hear us. It's pretty loud.
Okay.
Yoko and Frisky Dimensional Rift. Yoko and Frisky Dimensional Rift.
1.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Yoko.
Oh man.
Metro Card Frisky.
Yeah, you like cut out during that intro.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And that's how you know we're doing it live. Welcome to another episode of Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Rift. We're celebrating Women's History Month, International Women's Day weekend, daylight savings. It's a crazy time. And we're going to talk about the number one heroine in video games today. We're going to talk about Lara Croft. Who is Lara Croft? What makes her tick? Which games are worth playing? Which movies are worth watching? And we're going to go into a little bit of the development history and how that was like for these games. There was a lot of crunch. Spoilers. There's a lot of crunch.
Delightful. We're talking about women in video games. I got a whole list of them. All right.
Oh, well,
So,
yeah,
what do we got?
We'll get to all those women, but want to focus mostly on the Tomb Raiders because I know you love Tomb Raider.
I do.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into it, and I hope all you watching are having a blessed weekend. And we got some news. Are you ready for the news?
I need the news. What's on the news?
She needs the news. We're going to hit you guys with a segment called Yoko Reacts. And you can watch the screen and we can react together. It's going to be great.
Oh, man.
So, about an hour ago, we got confirmation that Super Mario Brothers is getting a sequel.
Yeah, they were starting now.
Did you see it? I'll show you the announcement real quick. Yeah,
I saw it this morning.
Oh, you saw it? All right, it's coming out April 3rd, 2026.
Makes sense. They need that time. Unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately with kindness, they said all of the production is going to be in France.
Really?
That means, yeah, they fired 75% of U.S. animators. They're not paying them.
What? So Illumination is not doing it?
Illumination France is doing it, not Illumination USA. Meaning, there will be an animation strike come this summer. All the animators are out of work. Yeah. I'm saying all kindly, but yeah, animation's going to be dry in America for the next
fun.
Yeah.
Bummer. Yeah, well, we love the first movie, obviously, and I'm looking forward to the second one. I'm not looking forward to people losing their jobs over it.
Me neither.
We'll see what happens. It's 2 years away. We'll definitely keep you posted on the updates. Up next, maybe we'll get some Mario jumping into paintings action, or into like weird pool things. This is an optical illusion that I discovered.
What we got? You should share your screen.
I am sharing my screen. Oh, with you?
Yeah, it'd save you so much time.
No, I didn't think about that too bad.
Yeah, this is cool, this optical illusion.
It is.
It
reminds me of Mario 64 when he like jumps
it does.
to the
What?
hazy mazy cave. Or
oh, that's
goes
so
dire,
cute.
Dire docks.
So like, is it like a mirror at the top?
I love stuff like that though. I love weird optical illusions.
Is she gonna hit the top? Let me look. Oh, interesting.
So
That's cool.
The real
Yeah.
question with this Mario movie is what kind of toys do you think McDonald's is going to produce for this movie?
None, because they're gonna get rid of them.
And is weird, where the hell is that even posted? Weird Ronald McDonald is gonna show up and take your order.
This weird Ronald McDonald. Did you send me something else?
Yeah, you watching?
Okay. Here. I had to type in the thing. Let's see. Oh my God. What can Ronald get for you today?
Thought I posted all the links. But yeah, you get to see weird Ronald McDonald, and it's just so creepy.
It's just really creepy.
It should be.
You
studied.
should meet my friend Grimace. I think you two have a lot in common.
Well, we both purple.
What the heck?
Flurry, thanks, Ronald.
I don't see anyone else
That's
in that
creepy,
car.
and I don't like
That
it
all
at
for you,
all.
big
I don't like that at all.
But why is he saying like there's no one else in your car? How does he
You should meet my
know?
friend Grimace. I feel like you two would have a lot in common.
Dude, I don't even know. It's probably an AI because the face is definitely AI generated. Ugh, it's really creepy.
Yeah.
You can tell things are AI generated by their face.
We're living in a post AI world, unfortunately. But if McDonald's doesn't get the rights to the Mario movie, maybe KFC will, and they can tie it in with their new product, the Cheesa.
The Cheesa. Oh my God. They've been watching TikToks and oh man, I'll sell this on TikTok. We're gonna make it happen. That actually looks delicious, but I can't eat it.
That looks like a heart
'Cause-
attack.
Yeah, I was about to say my cholesterol would probably shoot through the roof. You know what I mean?
It would probably make you fart, and we all know girls don't fart.
Bro, you know I'm the fartiest farter.
Unless they're doing this kind of dance right here. This is like a weird yoga exercise dance hybrid thing. They're training.
I love it.
They're training to be
Yeah.
Black Widows.
Bro, I love this. Oh, I'd love to do this. But I wouldn't want to get on those things afterwards because, like, you know, imagine somebody dubbed this with farts.
Somebody probably did on Reddit.
Yeah. You know? Doop. Doop. This is pretty tight.
Wow.
It must be new. I don't know. I'm hyped for this. It's
Yeah.
very, you know, Lara Croft in particular would just go to town with this.
She would eat this up. They look like they're training for Cirque du Soleil.
They do. They do.
And
It's funny.
You,
Go ahead.
you know I'm looking at that big girl in the front.
I know you are. I know you are. But she's fit. She is fit as a fiddle. Look at her go.
Yeah. You know how hard I'm staring at her?
I know how hard you're staring at her. That rope's gonna break. Give me your eyes back.
Yeah, I'm staring at her this hard. This is a clip from Smallville. Look at this clip, man, and tell me how outrageous this shit is. This is when Clark gets his heat vision for the first time.
Oh my god. Why is everybody dressed so... Oh my god, I remember the 2000s clothes.
Everybody's so sweaty. Look at him. He is staring at her hard. And then this happens. His eyes, like, bust a nut at the screen.
Ew! It sure did.
Oh my god.
I know some guy wrote this. He's like, oh man, I'd heat vision that lady's
Yeah.
body parts. I'm like, oh Lord, people.
You know, he's like, I'm gonna get the Emmy for this one.
Oh God. I remember teen girls were so obsessed with Smallville when I was in high school. Like this one girl had his poster over her bed and I couldn't figure out why until I woke up one day and I was like, oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Speaking of heat vision, we got some real heat vision with this.
Science girl.
Science girl. Yeah, apparently wherever this guy is looking, like that's how the thing tracks, and that's where the lasers go.
That's cute.
It's cool stuff. Good stuff.
Okay. What are we gonna do with it? That's a hot laser. Yo, are those party lasers?
I mean,
Because that looks... Those look like regular party lasers. My brother was telling me that, oh my gosh!
I mean, party lasers aren't that serious.
Well, this man is excited. Alright. What's next?
I don't have a transition for this one. I just thought it was cool. It's just like Day of the Dead festival.
Oh, I like this.
It's just a cool parade.
Bro, look at this puppetry. I'd love to be a part of something like this. Floats in carnivals in southern Colombia, originating in the 16th century, 1546. I would love to be a part of just making it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm thinking of hitting up New Orleans this summer and experiencing the culture because they have parades. I don't know if it's this elaborate, but they have some. Is that the Day of the Dead parade? No, I don't think that's New Orleans.
No,
I don't know
it's
what I'm talking about.
No, yeah. These floats are amazing. Like, holy cow.
Alright, on a more serious note, we have, just wanted to say rest in peace to the creator of Dragon Ball. He passed away.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama, the legend.
I know. And I know, you're not a DBZ fan, but we can't, downplay this dude's influence on bringing anime to the U.S.,
He was a part of it. He was a huge part of it.
Exactly.
Cartoon Network was the reason why he like really blew up. Even though his stuff has been coming to the US for over a decade, starting with Dragon Ball, Cartoon Network took it over the edge. So may he rest in peace, because I will give credit where credit is due. The first Akira Toriyama thing I've ever seen was Chrono Trigger. His artwork was on it. And then I went to another country when I was little. No. It was after school. Dragon Ball. I saw Dragon Ball first after school, and I thought it was really cool. And then when I went to another country, they played Dragon Ball Z, and it was uncensored.
Whoa, you saw Bomas?
I saw a lot of things. I was little, so I don't remember.
You saw Chi-Chi's Kiki?
No, but for you, I'll say yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Dragon Ball was definitely my first venture into the anime world. I'm sure it was a lot of people's first venture into the anime world with Toonami and when they showed it on Channel 9 back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he had a big part in just pioneering of anime coming to the U.S. So, rest in peace, man. This one's for you.
Believe it or not, like he's made over 500 comics, not like individual, but like pages, 500 pages before Dragon Ball really hit. Like the mangaka scene is legendary. These people work their butts off and they never get noticed until like that one thing takes them off,
Yeah, I believe it for sure. So yeah, before we get into the feature presentation, I went and saw the damn sand movie everybody's talking about. I saw Dune finally.
Did you get the Dune cup?
No,
did you touch? Did you put your hand in the cup? Was there a lot of moisture in the cup?
I didn't get the Dune popcorn bucket.
I know you lying to me.
I know you lying to me. I saw a picture of somebody wearing a shirt that said, "I just came to fuck the Dune popcorn bucket."
I believe it. Where you live? Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
There was actually a clip, someone riding a sandworm in the theater. Like they made a sandworm they could ride.
Wow.
For some reason, it got taken down. I don't know why, or else I'd be showing you. But it was really cool. I'll look for it later. But
Okay.
just let me give you my thoughts on both of them, because I didn't see part 1, so I saw both of them back to back. It's my dimensional review of Dune, part 1 and 2. So, the shortest way I can get through this, it's basically Star Wars, just a lot more sand. This story is very, very highly influenced by the Star Wars movies. You know, there's an evil empire people trying to take this thing called spice. It's like the super duper rare resource in the universe, and it powers like spaceships. It gives you hallucinations, and people use it with their food. Ironically.
Nice.
Yeah. So the evil people want it. And then there's the people in the desert called the Freemen, who are just like, screw these guys, you know, this is our territory. And that's the gist of it, but it's so much more complex than that. There's so many like different characters, different factions. Like it's one of those movies where you have to pay attention. You would probably wouldn't like this movie.
I know I don't like this movie because my mother loves Dune, and she knows all about it. She read the book. She's a nerd. And me, I'm like, nah, this isn't for me. Thank you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Are there furries in it? No, thank you.
No. There's a weird spider thing that doesn't get explained. It's just a spider with human hands. That's what's weird.
My God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's what's funny about this movie. Sometimes they'll like spoon feed you like exposition and the lore, and other times they'll show you something and they won't explain it at all. They'll just be like, yeah, just deal with it. This is happening now. People can make you do stuff by like giving you a baritone voice. They can like control your mind just by switching their voice up. Or, you know, there's this giant space worm dude, and he levitates. We don't know why, he just does. And then there's witches in this. There's a lot, man. You can tell this is based on a book because there's so many characters and so many like little details that you just have to keep track of, or else you're gonna be totally lost. But I will say this, like the most interesting aspects of these movies, you know, is the world building. That's why I think I like the first one more, because you're being introduced to the world for the first time. And it's a beautifully shot. These movies are beautifully shot for sure. Like, it's a lot of great scenes in the desert where the lighting is like all beautiful, and it's like, oh, that could be a Windows background, or that could be a Windows background. The way I'm selling this movie is totally bad. Like, I know someone's gonna like be like, oh, this guy doesn't get it. But
yeah, sounds about right.
But you know, there's a lot of great actors in it. Aquaman's in it. Drax the Destroyer's in it. Zendaya's in it. And
what's Zendaya doing? She's in everything now. She's like, oh, I'm gonna sell a can of soup now. It's a sci-fi movie.
No, what's funny about Zendaya in the first movie, she only shows up mostly in dream sequences, so she looks like she's shooting a shampoo commercial. Because she's always looking over her shoulder and giving her like the Zendaya look that she always gives.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So I'm just like, yeah, man, that was a great Maybelline commercial she shot for the first one. And then she's in the second one, but she's not that big of a character. She's the love interest to the main guy.
Of course.
Timothy Chalamet, you know, the little Hollywood's favorite twink at the moment.
I know. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many people are like, oh my God, Timothy Chalamet makes me, you know, pop my champagne cork. And I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I look at that kid and I'm like, that guy has no pubes on his body whatsoever. But I think he did a good job as the main character. He's a very fish out of water in the first one, but he studies the Freemen, which are the desert people, and he learns the sandwalk. They do like a little shimmy in the desert to avoid the sandworms. It's so funny.
I love that for him. You say sandwalk, and I was like, oh, yo, they moonwalking though?
Technically, it's like they're ice skating on the sand when they sandwalk. It's funny.
I love that for them.
So the first movie is more about like just introducing the world and the characters, and then the second one is about like when shit hits the fan. He's a member of the Freeman tribe, so he's fighting against the Empire, and they get all these cool like weapons. They got lasers and RPGs, and And then they know how to like ride the sandworms, which is the best part of the movie. Is like when they like ride sandworms. It's so cool.
That's so funny. Like
Yeah.
a motorcycle.
Yeah, but these movies are freaking long. Like characters get introduced, they get like a big introduction, and then they only get like 2 scenes afterwards, and then they,
And then they're gone.
yeah, basically. So it's just like, we spent a lot of time on that and didn't really build up so much. But there's clearly meant to be more movies. Like, you can watch this as a 2-parter, but the way it ends is just, they leave the door wide open for more. And, I would see more. I probably won't see these movies again, but if they made another one, I would.
Bro, that's me with Avatar. And I'm like, I experienced it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. The reason I saw these movies, because the second one was getting so much hype online, and I'm just like, okay, it piqued my interest. I haven't been in the movies in a while. It's a good mother-son movie. I watched these with my mom, and a lot of the time, main character's with his mom, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So
Happy National Women's Day.
happy answer. Yeah, instead, they take his mom, and they made her like this religious figure, kind of against her will, which is kind of gross.
I hate that for her, but
Yeah, but she uses it to her advantage, so who's to say? Who's using who? But if you want something weird and sci-fi to watch, or you just want to watch people in the desert fight with little blades, give Dune a watch. I'll give it a 7.8 out of 10.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And now,
All right, what's next
Your
on
presentation.
on the list?
Tomb Raider. Lara Croft.
Tomb Raider. Yes.
Who is
Yes.
Lara Croft? What are her motivations? What makes her get up in the morning and put on her sports bra and go into these
Adventure.
tombs? Yeah, so Tomb Raider Remastered just came out, and I was gonna get it, but I've been dunking all my time in the God of War. I finally beat it. 100%ed the game.
Wow, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Boy.
Those bosses at the end were hard as hell. I had to like get good, and I've never had to get good before. I usually just say, okay, I'm done. But in this case, I was like, no, I must. But yeah, Lara Croft's been in video games for almost 30 years now. Since
Yep.
96. She's an icon. Some people would say she's a video game's first sex symbol. And let's go back to the beginning. What was your experience with the Tomb Raider franchise?
Okay, I played the very first one. We rented it from Blockbuster, and I was too young to really understand the controls. But man, I loved her mansion and doing all the moves. And I was watching my brother play, and I freaked out. First level, after you get through the mansion, right? And that T-Rex comes out. Oh my God. Playing by myself, because I watched my brother do it. He managed to get away, but I couldn't because I was like 96. I was in 3rd grade. So there's math there that I'm not going to do.
You said the T-Rex scared you.
Yes, because the PlayStation graphics back then had a way of tricking you into feeling like, pardon me, sorry. So the fog, the unknown, that's what made games to me back then more like super scary. Even now, you don't know what's going to be in the fog. And they use that because their technology wasn't there yet to like render the whole landscape, apparently. So when you're looking ahead, you can't see everything clearly yet, right? But when you hear, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like the skyboxes were black because they just didn't know how to do the sky yet.
Well, not just that, but the game couldn't load it yet. They didn't figure out how to like, okay, how am I gonna program the skybox to reach a certain amount of feet for the player to see? And I didn't know that until like, funny enough, recently. And freaking you hear the music. When you hear music, it's like dun, 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 dun. I don't remember the music. And you hear a dsh, 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 and you're like, what's that? What's going on? Oh my, there's like a big old dinosaur coming your way. I turned that off real quick and I was like, I'm just gonna play in her house. I'm just gonna play in her house because it's safe there. Like, that was me. That was like the very first time I've played Tomb Raider, aside from the Pizza Hut demo discs you'd get. And played the sequel to Tomb Raider there, which, by the way, those demo discs are broken. They were not finished. They were not finished. My friend and I were playing the demos last year, and we couldn't get past. Okay, you're in jail, I guess, in the second game. We couldn't get out of the jail. It broke. It was broken.
Yeah, I think I played. My neighbors played all the Tomb Raiders. They were huge fans of the franchise. So I mostly watched them play. I think I rented the third one. I rented, and I probably couldn't get past the first level because I'm like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah, like
These games are complex. They're complicated.
yeah.
It's not like now where you get a compass or an objective telling you where to go. No, those games do not hold your hand. This is like hardcore PS1 exploration games. And I apologize, like I'm playing some footage right now and my YouTube is like slow as hell. It's chugging, so apologies for that.
Are you using Chrome?
Am I? Yes, I think so.
Okay, yeah, YouTube's been
It's bad on Chrome.
yeah, lately I've been using YouTube for Firefox. I have no problems.
Okay, so it's not just me. So yeah,
It's not just you.
it's not just me. But my favorite part was always like doing stuff in the mansion. I always like doing the flips because
See?
there's no enemies.
See?
Yeah, my favorite part was her acrobatics, man. Like this girl was basically the Mario for the PlayStation because these games came out the same year. Mario 64 and the first Tomb Raider. Mario 64 is a fantasy game, while as Tomb Raider is more realistic. You're going in realistic environments, caves and lakes, tunnels, canyons. So this was like Mario for adults. You're not collecting stars, you're collecting artifacts, and you're on a mission, and you can get impaled by spikes, and you fight demons later on.
Yeah, that is just no lie. Like, it was a lot. When you're little and you're playing a game that is difficult, because Tomb Raider, the first one, is difficult. I didn't really start playing it until you introduced me to the newer one, and then I played the anniversary. You got me the anniversary, and guess what? That game was broken. That one was broken.
How is it broken?
Some levels will freeze.
Yeah.
Or you'll I think they lazily programmed certain segments because I just couldn't get past certain levels no matter how hard I tried. I did a puzzle, I had to look it up, and when I would finish the puzzle, couldn't get through. I couldn't get through the level, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing the puzzle correctly. What the I don't remember what it was. A tomb that I obviously a tomb.
Yeah, the puzzles are complex because again, they don't give you any hints. I think the newer game is the remastered version. They do give you like a little hint of stuff you can interact with.
Yeah.
It's a little more forgiving, but back then, you just had to figure it out. Unless you had a strategy guide. What I want to talk about is the development of these games is very fascinating. I recently watched a documentary on like the original 6 games and how they came to fruition, and the crew behind these games, they were worked to the bone. Like the first one was such a major hit. Eidos was like, okay, make another one immediately for next year. And everybody was like, well, we want a break. But then they were like, oh, we'll give you a bonus. And they were like, okay. So they crunched for another one. And Tomb Raider 2 came out. And then, of course, Eidos is like, all right, cool, do it again. And they were like, nah, we want to go home to our families. So they hired another team. And they were basically mentors to that team. And they did Tomb Raider 3. And then for Last Revelation and Chronicles, the team split up. So you had the more experienced people doing Chronicles, and then the new people doing Revelation, and the team that worked on Chronicles did not give a shit because Chronicles is a broken game. Like,
See, didn't G4 Tech TV cover that game? And they were saying like she's literally a blow up doll.
yeah, like the team hated Lara Croft by the fourth one so much they killed her off in the fourth game. They were not planning to make any more.
Really?
Yeah, like at the end of the game, she's like in a rock slide, and it's implied that she died. They did not want to make any more games. They literally killed her off so they wouldn't have to keep going. But then Chronicles is like, oh, well, these are flashbacks. And then Angel of Darkness is a whole other can of worms.
Oh my God, that's the game that G4 covered. It was Angel of Darkness.
Angel of
yeah.
Darkness is so bad.
Yeah, I watched one of our friends play it, and he literally used the broken mechanics to make his way through the game. Because sometimes that's how you have to play those old games. You have to break it in order for it to work.
For sure. Before we move on to Angel of Darkness, I do want to say, like, back in the day when Tomb Raider's coming out, you know, she was on the cover of magazines. Like, I'm not talking about video game magazines, like Entertainment Weekly and stuff like that. I think she was on the cover of Time, maybe.
She was. I believe she was.
People were treating Lara Croft like a real person.
Yeah, they were in love with her, and like she was legit the first video game protagonist that like made it big, because originally video games were meant for everyone, and then all of a sudden they decided video games were just for men and boys because they didn't think girls were going to be interested in them. And then they were like, okay, we can't make any games with women because they're not going to sell. And I was like, wait, what? And that's another reason why, like, back in the day, there weren't that many video games starring girls in them unless they were edutainment, like Barbie Horse and Ride or something like that. So Lara Croft had to be a sex symbol because they thought if she was sexy, guys would play with her. Like,
oh yeah, guys definitely wanted to play with her.
Yeah.
And it got into a fever pitch so much that one of the video game magazines said there was a code that you could make Lara Croft completely naked. It was called like the Boob Raider or Nude Raider.
Which didn't exist.
No, it was a hoax. It was like a April Fool's thing. But people swore, like, oh, you know, it was one of those playground rumors. Like, yeah, I got the code, and you could see her square titties. It was.
I remember
amazing.
that. I remember that. I remember this one kid. You know, you ever had the friend that would get every game ever or every toy or whatever because single mom, or not just single mom, just like parents were loaded?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, that's you. All right, cool. Yeah. Never mind.
That was me. I was only child, single mom.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I mean, but I didn't get into Tomb Raider until the Legend series. But before the Legend series, the reason they had to do the Legend series was because Angel of Darkness was a piece of shit.
They should apologize. They should apologize for us. They should apologize. It's not like, ooh, that game made me upset. Go ahead.
It was such a piece of shit. And oh my god, this video is chugging. It's upsetting me. I had never played it firsthand, but I've read so much about this game. I remember it was super hyped. It always got delayed. It was supposed to come out in like 2001. It got delayed to 2003 when the second movie came out. And they were overhyping the shit out of it. And then when it finally came out, those reviews were so bad. They were like, you have to get your strength up to like open a door. It's like, I feel stronger now. I can open this door. Or if you want to like climb a ledge or shimmy across a rooftop, you have to build up your strength. They put in like these weird RPG mechanics, and it was just god awful. And then they had stealth. Stealth was terrible. There was a new character. It was like a boy, Lara Croft, and he sucked. This game was supposed to be like a trilogy, like the first one of a trilogy. and it just flopped so hard.
Didn't it kill Tomb Raider?
It took it away from Eidos like forever, or Core, or whoever the hell had the rights at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fucking bad. It was so bad, but I find it fascinating though. I love watching video reviews about it. Just seeing like this weird game. Sometimes they'll be talking in a cutscene and it doesn't match the subtitles at all. There's a lot of weird glitches, a lot of weird bugs. Oh, it's so funny.
Gee, it's almost like if they took their time with the game, maybe they would have had a game.
Yeah, like you can see the potential there. Like they wanted to make this big ambitious story, this big ambitious game, and this was the first Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 2. So they wanted to do a good job. The newer team was on it, and they definitely didn't know what the hell they were doing. So they were like, yeah, it was just bad. It's really bad.
I watched Kaze play it, and that was, I don't know how that child does this.
He played
does these
it?
games. Yeah, I watched him play it. It's on his Steam list.
He put himself through that? Wow.
He was cheating through it. So like he was like manipulating the area.
See, like right now I'm watching footage of Lara Croft. It's a cutscene, right? She's running through a tunnel. The fire, there's an explosion behind her, but it's like in front of her. It's like she's engulfed in the flames. She's like literally on fire jumping out of the tunnel. Like who programmed that? Like it doesn't make any sense.
They're like, cut, print.
Oh man, it's so funny. It's like the Room of video games. You just play it to have a good time. I think I would play it like with you just for shits and giggles.
I could make that happen, but we'll never finish it because it's like it's literally a game that you can't finish unless you cheat.
Yeah. You can't finish it unless you like put in like a level select screen or something, or if you like give yourself all the weapons. Look, I'm looking at the combat encounter and it's so fucking bad. She has like a shotgun, and the movement, and by that time the controls were so out of date. Like she still
they were tank controlly.
She controlled the same way she did in 1996 in 2003. Like, what are you guys doing? You need to upgrade the controls. Like she was stuck in the past at this point. And yeah.
Now there is a Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness restoration project. And there's a definitive edition. And people want to fix these games. It's like the Sonic 06 of Tomb Raider.
That is the perfect analogy. It is the Sonic 06 of the
even when they put it on the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Even when you gave me the anniversary collection. So imagine the anniversary collection controlling just like... Did you beat the anniversary collection or did you just give it to me as a gift?
No, I beat it.
Oh, you did beat it. I couldn't beat it. I don't know what the heck. I don't know why I couldn't beat it. And I was like, I'm going to go back to the 2012. I really love 2012 Tomb Raider. I could beat that in a couple of hours. I've mastered it. I play it all the time. I'll just run through and just knock people out and get to the end. And that's it. That's my favorite. Okay, go ahead. What's next on the Tomb Raider list?
Tomb Raider Angel of Fartness flopped so hard we had to go with the reboot with Crystal Dynamics, and then we got the Legend trilogy, that's when I really started playing these games. And Tomb Raider Legend is great. Like they gave her a grappling hook, which was a big part of the game. They redesigned her completely. They made her more like a James Bond type in these games because she would like go in the cover. And and they had quick time events, so whenever you failed those, you get like a really funny cutscene of her just flopping on her back and like a fish.
Yeah, I remember climbing and shit across stuff like in like was it Drake?
Yeah,
the Drake series.
Well, that's the thing. Tomb Raider Legend came out a whole year before Uncharted did. And
Wow.
people always
Yeah.
claim that, oh, well, Uncharted, or no, the new Tomb Raiders are copying Uncharted when Tomb Raider Legend came out before Uncharted, and it was basically doing all the same shit.
Yeah. I at least can say, okay, Legend, I couldn't beat at all because the motorcycle sequences, I kept dying. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hated the motorcycle sequence
Yeah.
in that one. I really liked the action. I really liked the how the gameplay for it was like a little better.
No, it was way better compared to Tomb Raider, like Angel of Darkness. This was like it needed this reinvention big time. Like it was in dire
Yeah.
need of a faceless. I'm looking at a quick time fails compilation.
That would be me. If I could just record myself just dying in all of it, I would.
Yeah, it was a fresh breath air that the franchise needed, but I think sales wise, it didn't do as good as they expected it to. I guess because at this point, Tomb Raider was basically like 10 years old at this point, and it lost a lot of good faith with Angel of Darkness. Like you said, it was the Sonic 06 of the franchise, so I think people were a little weary. Like, I don't know if I should go if I don't want to get hurt again. People were
Yeah,
thinking.
right? I don't want to get hurt again.
But no,
But
the Legend
yeah.
trilogy was pretty solid. Tomb Raider Anniversary, they remade the first game, and they tied that story into the Legend games with her mom. I know her mom goes into like she gets sucked into like another dimension or something. And but they kept doing the mistakes of the first team. They kept releasing these games annually, like yearly, and that's what shot them in the foot. Because by the time they got to Underworld, which was the last of this trilogy, Underworld was broken. It was a glitchy mess. I remember playing that, and there was like I had to like jump down a hole, and she was just like standing on top of the hole. She would not go in. Oh man, it was a fun
Sounds
death.
right.
She-
Sounds right.
I just
It's
sucked.
just like it just felt like they didn't care. You could tell when somebody doesn't care about the game that they're making versus, hey, this is the first game I ever programmed. This is the best that I can do.
Yeah, they overshot it, man. Like they just couldn't. They refused to take the time to make a good game because they want to make that holiday release. That's how it was in the generation of PS2 and Xbox 360. Like your game has to make the holiday. It has to, no matter what. So we can get those bonus checks, those Christmas bonuses, get those sales, all that. And the games just suffered for it. And eventually, Legend was going the way of the old franchise, so they needed another freaking reboot.
Uh-huh.
And then finally, we get man, this QTE Feels compilation is good. You should watch it. We finally get I forgot what they call this, the Rise trilogy or the Survivor trilogy.
Yeah.
They call it the Survivor trilogy, I believe.
The
With
Survivor trilogy?
the 2013 game where
It's
she
2012.
whatever 2012 she becomes.
You got me into it. I was hyper fixated on that one. You have no idea.
Yeah, so these games, especially the first one, like I definitely want to really focus on the first, the one that's just called Tomb Raider because they couldn't put a subtitle.
Yeah.
This one they turn her into Katniss Everdeen, which is not a bad thing.
Pretty much. Well, it's the best way to describe it to people who know nothing about it. But like, they're all surviving on the island. Her and her boat. They're trying to do a documentary to find a lost Japanese island. Ow! Don't bite me.
What's crazy?
Oh, sorry.
What's crazy about this is that this game came out on 360, the same system Legend came out on, and it looks completely different. It looks night and day. It looks like a whole different generation of video games. I mean, they come out towards the end of the 360's life cycle, so they pumped out the juice. They got all the juice out of this one, but it still holds up today. And what really stuck with me with this one is the story. Like the story was so good. At the time, I wasn't really playing video games that much. Like during the Wii 360 era, like I wasn't playing games like that. But this one really got me back into like the single player story driven games that I loved, back in the day. And I was just immersed in the story. I love the characters, especially Jonah, That's the only
Yeah.
the only character they keep throughout the whole trilogy is Jonah,
It's true.
which is basically Tito
Oh,
from Rocket Power.
oh yeah, through the whole series. Because I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like speaking of that, all the characters do stick around. Jonah and the other girl stick around, but they were in the comic, and the comic fills in the gaps between and a book, by the way, between this Tomb Raider to what was the next one? Because
It was Rise and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
yeah, and so here's the rumor. You ready for the tea?
I'm ready for the tea.
One of the writers was a woman, and she was really trying to get us, help give a perspective on what Lara Croft should be doing. How would you survive on an island with a cult, right? And they put Sam in there to give her an incentive to help somebody. And I heard that she wanted to make her, in love with Sam, or like realize her love for Sam. And I was like, I could see that. I could see that in some of this in this. And then guys were like upset about hearing that, of course, because it's the internet, and they're like, they can't make her gay. How am I supposed to love her that way, or something like that? And I was like, oh my god. But like, you could see that Laura, even if she wasn't a woman, you could play this as anybody. Like, take Laura out, make her not a woman, make her a man. It would just be an adventure story. So they neutralized it so everybody and their mother can play. You know what I mean? So like you were saying, it's like the Hunger Games with a cult. So that's some of the tea.
See, the thing about that is whenever they give Lara Croft a love interest, it never goes well for them, especially in the movies.
Exactly.
In the movies, they end up
Mhm.
turning evil or using
Yep.
her at some point.
Yeah, they stated that they won't have Lara Croft have a love interest, period. But fanfics were written about Sam and Laura to an extent that I thought I was reading another Tomb Raider game. Some of these fan fictions were so good. I'm not even joking. And Sam would be the damsel in distress every time. Even in the canon written books, Sam would be rescued up until the second game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and they got rid of Sam completely, all because they were like, we got to cut off the friendship to stop the shipping. I'm exaggerating, but Sam's never around after the second game.
Yeah, she pulled the Judy Winslow. She went upstairs and never came down.
Oh my god! Stop! No, they really did. They really, really did. And like, I found myself still enjoying all of the games, but the first one I memorized and mastered, and I love so much because you and I were just chilling, and you showed me this game. You're like, "Yo, check out this Tomb Raider game, man. It's my fun, man." I was like, "Okay," and I kept dying and jumping into fires and doing all this stuff, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, you loved the shit out of this game. I remember
What?
I got
Yeah.
a picture of you. Kit Mori gave you the art of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And I have this picture of you with the biggest cheese grin I've ever seen you with of your entire life.
Yeah, man. I love that book. I love that book. It's a great concept art book. So, the Rise of the Tomb Raider art book we're showing you how they got to the digital matte painting level that they got on, and they took photos of actors and they painted over them, and they pretty much just had everybody dress up and get in the feel of a nature survival type scenario, and they just added to it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider 2013 was an excellent game. I love the, kind of like the Metroidvania style of it, where you get new upgrades and then you open new parts of the map. That always gives my brain endorphins when I get a new thing and I could go new places. Love that shit. Yeah, they switched her dual pistols for the bow and arrow, which
Yeah.
was a choice. I'm not sure. I think at the time people didn't like it, but eventually, people got over it. It's funny because at the very end of the game, you do get the dual pistols. That's the
Yep.
last thing you get at the end of the game. It's like a cutscene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. This is how she gets her dual pistols. She's gonna have them for the rest of the series, right? Right? You never see him again.
It honestly, this Tomb Raider game was so influential that Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, you could get a DLC Tomb Raider outfit, which was actually a really good outfit.
Oof.
And you'd use Lara Croft's axe instead of your sword as your weapon.
Wow.
Because Square Enix developed the game, and they did a good job. To me, I think they did a great job.
So I just saw the scene where Lara Croft gets her first kill. And then she's like, oh my gosh, she freaks out about it. And then she goes on to murder like hundreds of other people.
They sure do.
And
And then
like,
they
"I'm
had
cool
like
with it."
some really messed up articles. They're like, yeah, right? I was like, dang. Then they had some, okay, get this. They had some trolls out there like, Lara Croft hates men in the 2013 reboot. She's sexist. All she does is kill men. And I'm like, whoa, what is happening? What is happening?
Well, by that logic, then she hates dinosaurs too.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say. But I just sent you a picture of Lightning from Lightning Returns, a game that I'm still playing years later,
Headshot. Boom.
where she gets the Tomb Raider outfit, which is actually pretty decent. And now you can't get it anymore because, DLC. Can't get it.
Yep. If you don't save it, they take it away. Yeah. So yeah, I loved this game. It was great. And then the other two came out pretty quickly, like in 2 years. Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The thing is, those two are very solid games. They just never stuck with me like this one did.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I did like the last one more than the second. But if I had to choose, it would be Tomb Raider 1, the rebooted one, obviously. And then the last one where she was in the Aztec territory. I really like that one. But I think because Laura had friends, you connected with them and you wanted to help them. Versus the other two games, she really didn't have friends like that.
No, like I remember in the second one, she goes to a village and that becomes like the big hub area for the game.
Yeah.
You go back there and I think you can do like side quests for them and stuff like
I
that.
killed a tiger and I wore it. I wore a leopard throughout most of the game.
Yeah, like I remember, I think I 100%ed Rise. I might have gotten all the trophies too. I liked it. I played through it. I did it, and then I just never thought about it again. And then Shadow came out, and I played through that one, and again, it was fine, but it just didn't stick with me. I guess the story was just forgettable, and I
didn't have that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, this story is very memorable. That's why they adapt this one for the reboot movie many years later. And Shadow, I just remember Shadow being more about exploration. There's not a lot of combat in Shadow.
You didn't think so?
No, there's a lot of stealth. You can do stealth in that game, but the combat sections are very far and few between, which is not a bad thing. I love exploring in these Tomb Raider games. My favorite part of these games are the tombs. Like, they're optional. You don't have to do them, but they're the best part of the game. I love doing the puzzles.
I will say the puzzles got harder and harder as the games continued. Can you hold on 1 second? I really have to pee.
Okay, she's got to pee.
All right, we're gonna pause. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these messages. We back. Okay. Yeah, the puzzles in those games, top notch. Love me some Tomb Raider puzzles. I want to just touch briefly on the Lara Croft games. You remember Lara Croft, the Guardian of Light?
Was that the puzzle one that you and I played?
Yeah, that's the co-op one.
Yeah, that one's fun.
That one's.
I wish we beat.
Didn't we not beat it?
I don't remember.
I think we did.
But I bought it again on the computer.
I'm pretty sure
because
we beat it.
We must have.
Yeah, that game was really fun. And then they came out with a sequel I think the Temple of Osiris. I haven't played that yet. I would love to play it with you.
I played the Temple of Osiris. I bought it. Hold on, let me look.
I bought it.
Let me look.
For those not in the know, the Lara Croft games, as they're called, not Tomb Raider, it's Lara Croft. They're like co-op games where you're just like solving puzzles and doing some platforming. I'll show you the Guardian of Lights. And these games are really fun. They're very underrated.
Okay, I own the Temple of Osiris.
Did you
These are very no. No. These are very puzzle heavy and you get different characters. I think I like the characters in this one more. But it's harder to play by yourself. This game you have to have somebody with you.
Yeah, these games are awesome. Well, I played just the first one. I want to play the second one. So if you have the second one, we gotta play that.
Yeah, but it's on my computer and you're not a PC gamer yet.
Wow.
You're not a PC gamer yet.
I've been attacked.
You have.
But yeah, check those out. And then I just want to touch on the movies. The Tomb Raider movies are an enigma. What do you do when you get this big video game heroine superstar? You get one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood to play her. You get Angelina Jolie at the height of her powers. And you get her to play the Tomb Raider. And I think it's safe to say the first movie is fun. You know, it's very campy. The soundtrack is off the chain. It's very inspired by The Matrix. She's doing a bunch of crazy flips and shit. And she's fighting robots. She's on a wire. And that sequence in the mansion where she's like on the wire and bouncing around and shooting everybody. Like that's peak Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. I think it's safe to say you like the first one too, right?
Yeah, the first one's my favorite. Everything else is just.
And then you get to the freaking second one. You get to this.
Yeah.
It's a big, huge downgrade. You get baby Daniel Craig before he becomes James Bond, and he's like playing the love interest / villain. And we watched this a year ago on Valentine's Day together, and I barely remember it. It's one of those movies that you just watch, and it goes in one ear
and out the other. There was a part where at the end, I'm gonna spoil it because you have to see it to believe it. They're running from rock creatures, and we were like, "Where did this come from? What happened? How did we get to the rock creatures?"
No, I remember at the end of the movie, there was like some black goo that like killed people, and they were like in the shadow realm, and I was just like, "Wait a second, what is this movie right now?"
Yeah, I don't want to watch it again because they were trying to give her a love interest.
They did that in the first one, but I think they did it better. Yeah, like I'm watching the trailer for the first movie right now, and it looks like a lot of fun. Like you don't even need to hear what's happening. You just see her bouncing around, shooting people, doing flips. Like this is what you want to see in a Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you go to the second one. What is she doing in the second one? She's punching a shark in the face.
Yup.
That's the only memorable thing in the second one.
Bam! She punched a shark in the face.
And yeah, doesn't even want to play. So, the first one was a huge success, especially for video game movies at the time. You know, they were still trying to get their footing. Then the second one comes out, and it flops. You know, that I don't blame it, because that's when Bad Boys 2 came out. Best movie of all time. And then many years later, they do a reboot based on the Tomb Raider reboot of 2013. And I thought it was fine. Like I remember,
and I think we talked about it on the podcast, and I didn't like it.
She didn't like it because there was no Sam.
There wasn't Sam. You're right. Sam. I will say with confidence that it would have been okay if they're gonna get rid of Sam. Make it a little more like bring her back to the mansion. She was in some other rinky-dink place, and I was just what was it, a boxing place? And I was just confused.
Yeah, I don't even think Jonah was in that movie.
Nope.
It was once again like just about Lara Croft looking for her dad. You know, that's the running theme in these games. She's either looking for her mom or she's looking for her dad.
Yeah.
She gonna punch the shark in the face? I'm waiting for the part where she punches the shark in the face. I don't think she.
Well, they could have Hey Arnold it, and like their parents fly off into the sky and never come back.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed the Tomb Raider reboot movie. I think I enjoyed it because I saw it in 4DX.
What's that? 40X?
4DX is when the chairs move.
Oh, I was like, what the? Is it like that Step Up 3D where the seats pee on you?
Yes, the seats do pee on you. And I think Tomb Raider was like the perfect movie to watch in 4DX because, of course, there's a lot of action. And then the big sequence is like when the ship gets destroyed, you know, it sinks and she's like fighting for you know, she's fighting for her life. The thing about this movie is that the game is probably like at least 10 hours long. And you can't fit that big story into 2 hours. It's just impossible.
No, you can't. And you know what? It doesn't have to be long because you could cut out a lot in that game to make it a decent movie, in my opinion. Because you know, who's gonna sit around watching you run around to get a deer to eat, and then we never bring it up again?
I know you do that in the first game, and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a big mechanic. You're gonna have to eat and replenish your health." No, you just do it that one time. That's it.
Only once. only once.
She's on a diet in the jungle. She doesn't need to eat ever again.
So funny.
But you know, I'm looking at the trailer for it, and you know, she looks like Lara Croft. Like I think she did a decent job for the stuff she was given. I thought there was some interesting action scenes, but you know, my opinion might change. I might watch it. Like if I watched it today, I might be like, "Oh, this movie is boring."
Yeah, it felt like the Legends of the Hidden Temple for adults.
Yeah, they squeeze in a lot of the set pieces from the game. You know, her getting when she's like falling from the airplane, and you know, she's doing puzzles. She's going into tombs. She has the bow and arrow. It's like they have the look correct for sure. She has the axe. She jumps. Boom. She catches it. So and then you like never saw this actress again. She kind of like just disappeared.
Because she got addicted to drugs.
Oh, that sucks.
Now, somebody at work listens to like gossip tabloids, and that's what she told me. I do not know if that is 100% true, but let's just say it's drugs.
It's canon. It's canon, baby. And yeah, so who is Lara Croft? Out of all these iterations, how would you describe her?
Obviously a strong, independent woman trying to heal her wounds of the past. It isn't a crazy. I felt like the first Tomb Raider movie, the very first one, was a rich girl just wanting more from life. Didn't really care too much about her parents' legacy, even though she was like, "Hey, I need my dad. I want to figure out the secrets of my daddy." But it just felt like rich girl, just bored, trying to figure out what daddy really wanted from her for her approval. Oh, right. And somebody's going to be like, "No, you're wrong." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Daddy wasn't there to take me to
the fair.
Yeah, I mean, when she first came on the scene, she was, you know, written by a lot of men. So she was what men wanted, like a woman explorer or hero to be. So, you know, she had the physique of like Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
But you know, over time she evolved, and you know, they gave her more, you know, they gave her more character.
They really did. They gave her more of a personality.
Exactly, because you know, in the original games, like, what was her personality? She just likes killing people, adventure, saying witty one-liners. She's kind of like Buffy in that, but
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We're so covered in nostalgia glasses that when we see something from the old, it's kind of true what you're saying. Like, a lot of these female characters are written by men. Not to say that that's bad. I'm not saying that that's bad, but in the 90s, stereotypes really were the key to their success, or what they thought the key to the success was. And you have to play by that for marketing. Because if Lara Croft, because like, remember like gaming in the Clinton years, and they were like, what if Lara Croft had breast cancer?
Oh
That would
my
probably give her
God.
a leg up on her storyline. Like, what really is, her motivation? And I was like, oh, and that was like in the 90s. So
Yo, you brought up gaming in the Clinton years.
I sure
forgot
did.
That left my memory banks. Oh man.
Well, that's a perfect example of like misreading a female character just because she's female.
Yeah. With the newer games, they gave her a lot more depth, especially in 2013, she's surviving. She has to like forget everything she knows about the world and become the Tomb Raider we know her as. And then, I think that's why Rise and Shadow don't hold that much, hold a place in the public consciousness as much as the first one, because she's already like, her character arc is complete essentially in the first game, and then in the other two, they don't really give her enough to do or enough to evolve.
Well, that's because, in my opinion, it's because she doesn't have friends to help her balance out. Yeah, Jonah's there, but like, I don't get to play as Jonah. I don't get to experience his motives. I don't get to, unless you read the comics and stuff, which I got like most of the comics. I read a whole bunch of them, and I just wasn't interested. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be that person and be like, because Sam and her didn't get together.
Who is Jonah? Like, what does he eat for breakfast? Is he a Swiftie? What are his political beliefs? I need to know more about Jonah.
It almost got to that. Like, who was the woman that was with them on the boat? The black woman that was with them on the boat? Because in the comic, she ratted Lara Croft out, and Laura had like the mafia or something after her. I don't remember. It's been over a decade, so I'm like, what's going on? I thought y'all were friends.
Who, Deborah Wilson?
Laura saved you. Yeah.
It's probably Deborah Wilson. She's in every video game.
I know. God bless her.
Good for her. Yeah. I mean, some guys out there were called Laura a Mary Sue, but I don't think she's a Mary Sue at all.
She's not a Mary Sue. She's definitely not a Mary Sue.
She got flaws.
Yeah.
She got dirt under her nails. She makes mistakes. See? Like, if you see the QTEs, right? The QTE fails. She makes a lot of mistakes. The deaths in those games, holy shit. They're so
bad. I was like, ooh, that guy dead. He ain't coming back.
The deaths in those newer Tomb Raider games are fucking horrific. I don't even I'm not even gonna like show them here because we won't get demonetized, but somebody will get mad. But yeah, let's wrap it up. Dimensional Diary. I'll let you take the floor.
For what? What do you want me to say?
Give me your other favorite video game heroines.
Oh God, yes! Finally, my time to shine. Okay, y'all are gonna fight me on this, but I love Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. She is literally Cloud Strife as a woman, and she changes over the course of 3 video games. You play her in the first one, and she's got a ragtag team of friends, and she's like, I hate these people. I don't know who they are. I'm looking for my sister. And then by the 3rd game, she's completely different. She's starting to smile more. She's starting to be like, oh man, I actually want to help my friend out. He wants to be with his son. So like, she evolves, she changes. It's great. Yuna from Final Fantasy X. She has a bubble wand. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm just playing. Chun-Li from Street Fighter. First girl character I ever played. Who's the other girl? Have you ever played King of Fighters?
I'm sure I've played one at some point.
Okay, King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown were the first video games I've ever beaten. Samurai Showdown in particular had Mai. Mai used to be my favorite, and I played her a lot. No, that was King of Fighters. Mai isn't King of Fighters. Tifa Lockhart, I love her. Final Fantasy VII, the love of my life. I love her. Give it up to Ada Wong from the Resident Evil series. We love ourselves some Ada Wong. I've been watching a lot of retrospectives on Silent Hill. Heather Mason. Give it up to Heather Mason. Heather Mason has changed my whole perspective on the horror genre. And the reason why is because this game was ahead of its time in terms of writing really good female characters. And it may have been written by men. Like I said, it's not bad that a male character writes about a woman, but they understood how this teenager would act and react when her father died, when the cult came to get her. A really, really good perspective on what it means to be a girl being forced into being an adult by giving up a child. And we're kind of living that right now with all the political air that's been happening with the rise of anti-birth control. Women should be having kids at a younger age. Yada yada yada. Moving on, Bayonetta. I love myself some Bayonetta. My girl Bayonetta. That game was a little hard for me to get into, but by the third game, which I really really loved, it turned into just a silly combo adventure. I learned to just embrace the witchening. Like being a Umbra witch was like, oh my god, I want to be an Umbra witch. That's my aesthetic. And girls got hips for days. Okay, gotta point that out. I have other girls. I'm gonna give it to Amy Rose from Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, people are like, oh, I don't like Amy Rose. She's just a stan. I gotta give it to this little girl, okay? She went from obsessing over Sonic to being her own independent woman by Sonic Boom. But Sonic Boom sucked as a game, but was really good as a show because it played on the satire of girls in games. This was a joke. Who else do I got? Hold on. I'm looking around my room because, you know, I could keep going, honestly. We could talk about the girls in Pokemon and Cortana from Halo.
Halo, more like Galo.
Ivy from I just got Soul Calibur 4 back. I just got it back. Ivy's overpowered. I don't care what anybody says, yo. She is overpowered.
Yeah. She got them cheeks though.
She does. Bringing it back to Resident Evil, Claire Redfield. I would sprain my ankle for her to save me in a zombie apocalypse, and then we'd get a little cottage in the hillside. And then Jill Valentine. We love ourselves a Jill until I don't know. It just seems like they'll take these girls, make them strong in the beginning, and then they'll like make them weak later on. Except for Ada. Ada's been the same.
Yeah, except Ada's voice. We're not going to get into Ada's voice.
No, we're not. That was weird. I agree with you.
We're not going to talk about that. Yeah. First, I'd like to say Heather Mason looks like one of your exes, so you're biased.
You're funny.
And Sheva Olimar from Resident Evil 5.
Oh yeah! Oh god, bless
her.
her. I feel so bad for her. She gets crapped on all day.
Because she's your computer companion when you're playing alone. But she's such a great character, and I wish they would bring her back. Like Resident Evil 5 just turned 15 like last week. So there was a video I just saw that was showing how unappreciated and overlooked Resident Evil 5 is. I mean, it's a really fun game. It just came out after 4, and people were just like, "Oh, it's not as good as 4 because Leon's not doing suplexes in it."
Yeah, I think when people fall in love with the one thing that they like, they'll hyperfixate over it and then expect everything else to revolve around that one thing. You know?
Yeah, I would love to see Sheva come back in some capacity, some form. Like, I loved her. I love Kristen, her dynamic as just a duo, and it was platonic too. There was no romance there. She has like really banging outfits. Like she has this cool tribal one. He has an outfit that looks like Rihanna.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, bring Sheva back. I'll say Nina Williams from Tekken.
Nina, throw that bitch down the stairs. I'm kidding. Respect.
Certified badass, Nina Williams. I still haven't played your game, but one day maybe I'll emulate it. One day.
I played it. It is really hard.
Yeah, you got Crystal from Star Fox. She's nice.
Yeah.
To look at. I wish they did more with her because she was always like, "Oh, she's just Girl Fox." Like, no.
Well, did you know that the original GameCube game was supposed to be about her, and then they were like, "It's a shame." Like back in the '90s, we really thought that women couldn't make anything happen.
They couldn't carry their own franchise, and look, we talked about a girl that carried her own franchise.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be Crystal was supposed to be in Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah, exactly. And you got Ellie from The Last of Us. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
She's definitely one of the more prominent female heroes that we got today.
Mm-hmm.
They announced The Last of Us 3, so she's definitely gonna come back. For
oh
that.
Boy, I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't know what that one's gonna be about, but because that second one was really controversial. But we'll see when the time comes. We'll cross that bridge. Do you have any more?
Yeah, Carmelita Fox from Sly Cooper.
Yeah, there you go.
Amaterasu from Okami. Yes, Amaterasu is a girl and she has a little baby boy. And Amaterasu is great. Ooh, Felicia from Darkstalkers.
Oh yes, my sexual awakening.
I named my cat after her. Morgan is overrated, and I will tell you, they push her the most. She's not that great. Okay.
I'd say Rivet from the new Ratchet and Clank game. I liked her.
Yo, she's so cute. Yes. I'm trying to look at. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to think of like. Kaze judged me when we were cleaning my house. Like, you could tell the type of gamer Yoko is, and it had nothing but furry games and fighting games. That was the majority of the games that I had.
I'll give a shout out to Rosalina. She's definitely one of the best, like, more interesting characters in Mario.
You know, I will agree. We gotta give Rosalina some love. Ooh, Overwatch. Oh, God.
Overwatch. That's not her name.
No, it's not. I love Pharah from Overwatch. I don't play Overwatch anymore, but Pharah, Diva, Mercy, like great character designs and fun to play, but Microsoft hates itself, so they killed Overwatch for me. So.
Oh yeah, I heard Overwatch 2 is poo-poo.
Yeah, well they were like, oh, we're gonna have an adventure mode. Oh, we're giving up on adventure mode. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So yeah, go out and get some games with some female protagonists in them. Support Women's History Month.
Yeah, and there's way more games now with better female character leads, so it's just getting better and better. Cooking Mama, can't forget about her. Yeah, I'll go.
Mama.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we could keep going, but I think those are some good ones.
What's the girl's name from Dino Crisis?
Oh shoot! Hold on.
I
have to Google it. You can hear me. What is her name? I wish they would remake that game. Holy cow.
Yeah, Capcom is really silly. Like, people have been asking for a Dino Crisis remake for a long time.
Yeah, but instead they wanted a DLC run adventure dino shooting game. What is her name? Regina.
Regina.
I felt like back in the day, games with women in it were strong in fighting games and role-playing games. JRPGs in particular.
There's a lot of women in survival horror games. Which
that's true.
Should pick a bone
and they were all great.
Yeah, it's like, why are there so many women in these games, huh? You think they can't survive? Is that it? You think they're weak? I'm trying to think of that girl's name from Uncharted. Is it Farah? Yeah, I'm bad at this.
It's okay. Don't worry. It's all good.
You guys know the one, not Elena.
Chloe?
Chloe, thank you. She's cool.
People ship Chloe and Nadine, and then Twitter was like, they can't be gay! No! Because, like, one of the developers...
They have a game where they're together the whole time. I think they're...
Yeah, and then somebody drew fan art after the game was released of them getting married on Pride Month, and somebody shit themselves over it.
Yeah, I would play more Uncharted games with Chloe. Like, Nathan Drake's pretty much done, so give me an Uncharted Chloe game.
Yeah.
Another one. The Lost Legacy was good. Yeah, I think that settles it. End of the song. Yeah, I think this was a solid episode. And I missed you, girl. It's been a while.
I missed you too, buddy. It's just been rough out there, people. People banning books, banning gays, banning and the majority of people don't want it because nothing's happening. It's weird. It's weird out here, man.
It's a weird time, but listen, the clocks went forward an hour. We got more sunshine, and we're gonna get some good weather. Well, you already got good weather. I'm gonna get good weather.
Yeah.
Well, that was today's Dimensional Rift. Next time, maybe we'll talk about some cartoons. X-Men 97 is coming out soon.
Oh, you're missing out on all these cartoons, so I'll give you the tea.
Yes. We're going to talk about some overlooked cartoons, unappreciated cartoons. Give them a leg up on the competition. Give them some relevance, some promo.
Yeah, and I'm going to start live streaming again, finally. It's taken me so long. Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a good one.
Have a good March. And welcome the spring.
Welcome to spring.
And we gonna be out.
Yep.
Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Ring. Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Ring.
You know what I've been doing lately?
Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Ring.